There we go. Oh, Ed? But I'm sorry, why don't we give it 2 more minutes, 6:35, and we'll go ahead and get started, because Ed had indicated he was coming. Gary.
One of us will play Mario, right? On the window.
Ed.
It's Ed.
Hey!
Yeah, obviously.
It's Ed.
You're leaving, we got an official,
Oh, yeah. Well, he's the
you
ex-secretary.
know, who's the best at it?
That's the X, but he does it anyway.
Oh, no, Mario, okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is 6:35. We will conduct the roll. It's probably easier to mention who's not here, but Ed Pies is here. William Knickerbocker is here. Judy Farkas Serra is here. Larry Borman is here. Martha Gonzalez is here. Nicole Ortiz is here. And William Perez is here, although hasn't been sworn in quite yet, and I'm here as well. So missing is Gary, Lourdes, Mario, and Pedro. Gary, Lourdes, Pedro, and Mario, and I believe Gary has a health concern. Okay, order of business, deferrals, additions, deletions. I think we have here, taking a look at it, you can see from 7 through 8. The other thing that was brought up as new business item was the missing minutes from several meetings, subcommittee and regular meetings. Right? Yeah, no, I wanted to add that in as part of the right here. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Larry. Yes, if we would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We could please just observe a short moment of silence for your own intentions. Thank you. Please be seated.
Having nothing,
Yeah, crates and napkins.
pass these as well.
So missing minutes was something that was recently addressed by town staff. We'll conclude the meeting with that. Do we have any public comments? Mr. William Perez, but can I invite you to make some comments?
Yes. It's good to be back, missing folks, and it's nice to be back in the Veterans Committee. And I'm looking forward to a good few years I'm just better than me, so, you know. Excited to find out what's going on and see how I can help. Thank you.
And are you returning to us wiser for the journey or?
Always wise.
Yeah, well, good. It really is good to have you back. Welcome back. Approval of minutes. Do we have the minutes here, Jonathan? Yep, on page 5, these are the minutes from our November meeting.
Second.
Mr. Larry Borman makes a motion to approve, seconded by Mr. Knickerbocker. All in favor? Are there any opposed? Yeah, and then it says printed stand. Okay. Staff update. Okay, I'm assuming that's a new
That was,
entry.
Mario put that in. App update, I mean, I guess my update would be an old and new business.
Okay. You want to defer? We'll wait till we get to that
I don't
then.
know if there's anything
Okay.
that's my own.
Old business and the Veterans Parade wrap up. Oh, this is specifically reimbursements. And there was a couple of emails exchanged, and I believe that Io was going to talk to Claricel specifically. We're talking about there were several items that were purchased, although without prior approval. There was one item that was purchased at the direction of the town. That was to buy coffee, which we did. And so we were waiting for a reimbursement on that. And then we had spoke several times, folks might remember, about an honorarium for the people that are performing. And we started doing these honorariums and paying out of pocket. And then the town agreed that it was appropriate to pay using town funds. And so once we got that approval, our understanding was that the singer for the Veterans Parade, who sang both at the opening ceremony as well as the closing ceremony, would get a $50 gift card. It's been several weeks now, and I don't know if this is going to be tied up much longer. If it is, and I would make a recommend that we'll just go ahead and pay ourselves rather than continue to wait, until months after the fact. But Jonathan, do you have an update on that or not?
Not the science island area. Talk about it. I believe we made that decision, or the committee made a decision early enough, that this minutes issue wouldn't be a problem. It's really just running it to Claricel.
So where it stood was apparently we're trying to kind of balance the books following the parade, and there was a few items that were left to resolve, although I had made the point that we had already committed to give the honorarium, so it didn't matter what the balance was, we should go ahead and provide that, but I think we're still waiting, so. The recommendation then, Jonathan, would be to, do we have some date on when that might be resolved?
I mean, we're gonna go there tomorrow, so. I mean, it should be already done then.
All right, the reindeer run. Judy, we'd love to hear all about it.
So I'll start with, I made a list. Ed, how's it going? Did you get with Master?
Yes, I did.
Yay.
So they talked to the Key Club person to see if they can donate the time. I think that's gonna happen next week, and also the cross-country team. I believe it's gonna go. I will tell you something else, just on the side. I don't know, I didn't go all the way through because I didn't want it to happen, but I went to register my wife, myself, and then my daughter, and I went to apply that to my daughter who goes to Mary Ray's, and it took everybody. So I didn't go through with like the purchase.
Oh, boy.
But I just want to give you a heads up.
Jonathan.
That happened last night.
Great, thank you for doing that.
You're saying the code.
So instead of applying to my daughter, because I think you guys ask for the kids, you ask or I guess you ask for everyone's age, right? And then when they populate, it says school, so I put her school. But then when it says the promo code, and I put the promo code, it applied to all three of us. We were basically all three free,
Yeah.
which was not
Not the intention.
at all. It was for the student to be free. I'm glad it happened yesterday, so I
Thank
could bring
you.
it to the meeting, but I think that's.
Yeah, I think I'll see, I'll play around in the back end because it's very simple for us to add codes, but not so simple to specify if it checks out to everything. We're gonna talk to Ruben about that one, because it's obviously not.
Because I think the other thing is, there was somebody that was having a meeting on the fifth or something in school, right? So my fear is that gets
Yeah.
triggered and,
That was, no, the meeting was already on Monday. Well, that's another meeting.
yeah.
The HML people had a
Right.
meeting on Monday before ours.
Like the Manor Lakes is next week,
They're gonna
so,
blow us up.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're right, Barbara Goldman was, put it out sparingly, but didn't expect to get the full,
Until the fifth.
group until they met with their group on the fifth.
That was with Soto and,
So Ed's point is well taken.
I'll try it again if you want tonight and see what happens.
Yeah, I have it on my list of things to do this week as well, so thanks for the reminder, Ed.
so, that was my question. So Ms. Soto is, that meeting is gonna be 12:05, and we'll see the list, because we had, as of this morning at 11:18, I'll send an update on our enrollments. 212 runners, 12 student promo codes. We've raised $6,124.85, including the little donations that have been on the donation page. It's kind of adds to the runner tally of those, the registration fees. And obviously plus sponsor dollars, which I think we're over $50,000 right now.
Oh,
in
my
revenue.
goodness, wow.
And maybe I have another sponsor too. She wants to be in, so I wanted to talk to you guys about that.
Hmm.
Quick thing for the committee to consider, one of my employees' daughters has her own business and they're in some sort of, it's like a government funded digital device program to where if you have under 60K in income, or if you have like a veteran benefits, there's certain qualifications and you get a free phone and a free tablet, and it's that unlimited voice, unlimited text, and it has data. I don't know if there's a data restriction, how much, but you don't pay any bills.
This is for veterans?
It works for veterans that are on some sort of veteran benefit, so I don't know what the actual exact, I'll have all that. But it's basically for, under 60K income, and there's a few other criteria of government funding that qualify for the program. So she's a little entrepreneur, she hustles and is out there doing like 5Ks and goes to all kinds of things. And she may likely join us as one of our sponsors and jump on as a last minute $1,000 sponsor and have a table. Just want to make sure everybody was okay with this. I mean, I think that we have families, the demographic coming in to where, I mean, they can give it to their young kid, to have a phone, and because I know most of our community probably does pretty well with their own devices. Just want to know if anybody's adverse to that type of action in the sponsor village. Everybody else is giving stuff away and really no active selling going on. This will be a sale. I think it's like $30. You just give $30 and they set you all up with a case and everything is done. So she's seeing if she can get staff. I wasn't gonna tell you anything until she said yes, but I think she might still say yes. So I'm gonna put that as a contingency. Want to just bring it to a vote if everybody is okay with that type of sponsor to be on board. They're great people. It's a nice service for people that need devices, that qualify for it. So I'd like to propose a vote to, everybody.
So it's a government program.
It's a government program. I have all the flyers for it.
I want to make a motion,
I make a motion.
but do we want her to have to pay the $1,000?
Yes.
It sounds like what
She's a
she
business.
provided.
No, she gets money. She's a profit business. Oh, yeah, she's a profit business. That's okay.
Even if she's not for profit. She pays her employees and she runs her business.
Yeah.
Not for profit doesn't
Mean
mean
you're gonna make money.
for profit.
She's not for profit, and she's not, she's for
Yeah.
profit. She's
Nonprofits
making
make
money.
money.
She's doing
Not,
good.
nonprofits
Wait.
pay, nonprofits are not totally nonprofit.
Right.
I'll go ahead. It's non. So I make a motion that the individual that Judy mentioned is allowed to sponsor and set up a table.
Okay,
The
thank you.
organization have a name?
Yeah, I have all her stuff. Yeah, I'll share it. You know what? I'll share it with the committee. It's in my email. I'm sure we'll take 10 minutes to make it pull up right now.
But that's the motion,
I started.
seconded by Nicole. All in favor? Okay. Any opposed?
Thank you. she comes. I'll know by tonight or tomorrow. Mayor Sid has confirmed he will be participating and speaking. I am still dealing with petting zoo situations and insurance certificates of insurance with the school and the town. Hopefully I can get that worked out tomorrow. I followed up today and have one more call tomorrow. I am picking up the shirts, or one of my team are gonna go pick up the shirts to save the freight on Monday or Tuesday. It should be ready. They'll bring them back to the dealership. I was supposed to tell you guys that we are gonna stuff all the bags, so you guys don't have to worry about coming and volunteering and helping. I have plenty of staff that will fill the bags. So the bags will be done and filled at the store. If you feel like getting involved, come on over. Like, I'll let you know when bag stuffing time is, but we're good. We have enough hands to do that real quick. Still following up with Chick-fil-A. They're supposed to provide Be Our Guest coupons for the bag as their swag for all our registrants, and he's being a little tough to get through. I think Isles having trouble getting in touch with him. He's not easy, but that's still in hopes. Laz Rolachon, my mascot, and Coda, the fluff, are booked and are in. The cow is also contingent. That's with Chick-fil-A, but I think we'll be good. We passed the reimbursement for that paid ad, which is great. We did get lifted over the holiday weekend. Thank you, Larry, for pushing that and helping get that done. I think we have about 9,000 clocked views on Facebook with the ad, but there's more like 40,000 impressions. It's huge, it's high, and it's still going. And I'll share the ending analytics for that when we get to this. You guys can see where that $1,500, which I'm going to present to Jonathan to give to Isle to get reimbursed at headquarters Toyota.
And I, sorry, just, I know you know, but to get that sponsored for the aisle.
Oh, the one that,
Yeah.
I'll square them up tonight and then she'll be, I'll write to Isle for sure.
But that was really quite amazing then, the fact that you put a filter, again, just so we have a better understanding. There's a Facebook ad, but the town has been running ads, but they haven't perhaps been directed as much as they could have been. Is that or
Well,
there's a special filter that you have to pay for and you can't do it unless it's cash on the bulkhead.
so when we voted earlier on, and correct me if I'm wrong, we approved about $100 into that paid ad program. Those are targeted ads. And the town has its marketing strategy, which I don't see exactly what they use, but there's, geographics, there's age groups, demographics, all that stuff they take into consideration to key in and to target those ads to the right audience. So my agency I scrambled them like eggs on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. And they did it. Unfortunately, they didn't put the radius on it. So we had like 40,000 views in California. So we had a few extra views. They kicked in some more to extend it out, give us some more time with it, but it's moving and people are sharing it now. So even when the paid runs its budget, it still keeps going
Yeah,
and people are
it's
sharing.
Because they have it on their post and share.
Organic now, it's getting shared and it's people's feeds are seeing it.
What we did was 1864. 30 to 35 is the biggest.
Yeah.
Demographic for this race. And let me get to my emulates, so. That's the sort of, and you said yours accidentally went out nationwide.
They went nationwide at first and then they fixed it,
Yeah.
but they put in the money to put it back to give us only our local reach that we really, it'll pay off.
But the only way you can do that is if you pay, because you said you paid, we talked about this and somebody had suggested early on that $100 would be sufficient to cover everybody. And then you have come in and said, no, actually, it was more like $1,500. So why was there any sense of why there was such a big gap?
So I'm not a digital marketing genius. I just do know that when I spoke to my digital marketing company, I asked them, what is the most reasonably low amount that I can get? This is what I want. And they're like, like $1,500 would be like a minimum for them on with their customer thing. That's company that they market for profit. I don't know, maybe the town has, and Jonathan has experience to explain that better on the town side, how $100 would move and how, again, this is.
Yeah.
Different.
No, but just have an understanding,
Yeah.
but really this seems odd. And is it because the staff has their own people that are paid, so they don't have to compensate them because they're on company
No.
time?
No, this is right straight to Facebook.
Oh,
This
it is.
isn't going to, there's no commission on this. So they did it for me for no charge. Yeah. I mean, that was it's just about keying in a campaign. I already had all the marketing was made. We have, our animations and stuff that we've been pushing and posting on our socials. So they just used that and then just boosted it with paid. Yeah. So yeah, it's burning through and doing good still, and people are sharing. So if you will, go and share it. If you see it's on Headquarters Toyota's Facebook page, if you share, that'll be really awesome. It just keeps moving the more you share. You don't know how 2 or 3 of your friends are on your Facebook page and you share it, and you know, that's how things go viral and wildfire. It's great. So
No, I'm sorry, if I could I mean, people, because I don't really get it, but I don't have to. But if Judy is not with us, and now next year we're talking about this and doing the advertising campaign, do we now at least have a sense of what she did to get us to this point and where we need to go if we're gonna be advertising like this in the future?
No, I don't, I'm totally lost.
and I'll share that. I'll give a playbook at the end. I'll do my best to provide a,
I've got a quote from the contest.
1,500 hours.
Yeah, and pretty much detailed what exactly.
Yeah, that's really good. We'll keep that in the playbook too, because that was what we were gonna do, but we just didn't know them at that moment. It was such a last second to know that you get it done. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. You really don't know until it's done.
You're gonna let us know how to, so I can.
I will. I'll give you the book.
Or just to have some sense of, what it was that you did.
I
'Cause I
will.
really couldn't speak to it other than, I don't know, Larry and Judy did something. And
Do you see on the invoice, does it have any, he put some details on enough, I think, for reimbursement purposes. What is it going to be, right?
Little ad spend, Facebook campaign,
Okay.
Black Friday weekend.
Details on that.
Yeah, but for what it's worth, the $100 mark has always been, it's even sometimes been less than $100, which, $50, $25. For $100, you're reaching, probably 5,000 people individually. But then that gets put on their feed many times. It's on their Instagram stories, on multiple platforms. The long story short is it's historically sufficient, the $100. I'm interested to see the approach, as well from them.
I'll get it for you.
It's good insight.
There's companies specialized in 5K runs. That's all they do.
We'll send you that too.
Okay.
And you have a marketing degree.
Well, not a marketing degree, a public opinion degree, which is.
Top of your quest.
I graduated.
And I'm sorry, if I could step back a second, Bill, I forgot Officer Amador.
Oh, and
Ruben was in attendance for our
yes,
meeting, which I didn't take note of, I apologize.
I have a question for you. I know in the past, at the last minute, it was like, where things go, where the stage might be attest to that. How do we organize on the morning of the 10th? Who goes out there? What do we do?
Okay, so I'm waiting for Isle to do the formal instructions for setup morning. I think she's just kind of telling the sponsors that broadly, we're gonna have to fine tune early in the week, so everybody has it right in advance. No, I think she's gonna she'll probably distribute something. I mean, we have the map, she's got the map, the layout, where the stage goes, where Petty Zoo's gonna go with the comes, because we may have insurance problems, like the vehicles. Oh, Jonathan, you were gonna get the vehicles, did you get that? Or it was either you or Isle that told me they're gonna try to get the vehicles that didn't get to come to the Veterans Parade.
That was actually me. I was
That
gonna
was
gonna take that on. Yeah, I haven't done it.
Okay,
At the parade, we have people out there in the morning early, they're showing where things go, where people are supposed to be, where we're staging everything. Is there anyone going to be there Saturday morning, staging, setting up, where it goes where, what?
I think that might
Yeah,
be,
we've been
That's-
making the maps that are gonna be internal, also that people are gonna have an idea. of
Like
what
example, we
things
had
are.
Otis there, for the parade, and Otis kind of directed people where they needed to be, what needed to be set up. Is someone gonna be like kind of an Otis here to do that? Is there a person?
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be us, it's gonna be myself and Isle, and Jacob. I'm trying to find.
I see what you're saying, like a central point of
Of
contact.
course.
Right.
Look what I did with the parade, and you need somebody that
Yeah,
basically direct.
This is the early version. I don't know how helpful it's gonna be. We have our maps ready, people are gonna know where they're gonna go. This is gonna be shared internally as well as, the runners again, so they know it's.
So what's the numbers in the park to where to direct people to go?
Yeah,
Where
you-
to set up the setting to do, where
Yeah.
they go.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
On that with the vehicles, just so that they know where they're gonna be, or we know where they're gonna be, if you wanna put us in contact with them. Just like
Okay.
CC or.
Yep, I had reached out to the gentleman that was the lead that I knew of, and he told me he had to go to the name of the gentleman that you gave me, Perkins. And he said he was gonna get up with him and have him contact me, he hasn't. And so I've been negligent in not following up with him.
I'll ask-
But I'll do that.
I'll ask Kyle, because the other day she did ask me, the gentleman that, maintains vehicles, so hopefully that's what that was being.
As far as a program, speaker,
Yeah, we have a timeline, that's kind of pretty much solid now. I'm just gonna print it and
Have it,
you have it? Actually, I have it too. So the tentative timeline, which is just gonna flex around by 5 minutes here and there, 7:30 warm up by Sweat 440. 7:45 Hialeah Gardens Senior High School Marching Band plays national anthem. 8 a.m. race begins. 8:30 high school, Hialeah Gardens Senior High School Marching Band will play pep songs, and the Hive dancers will be dancing as people are coming in from running.
there might be a master ceremony, who'll be recording.
I don't think we have, I
You
mean,
need to
Hold on.
Sorry.
At 8:45, we've asked the mayor to speak, so unless, we'll probably need an MC before him, so that'll be in addition to the timeline is like an MC. That's MC. I'll speak. No, okay.
Yeah, we had done this previously and it was really more of a, all right, everybody, a beautiful morning. Hope that, you got your antlers on, let's do this. And then somebody said, okay, on behalf of Miami Lakes, and then you, the sponsor, Headquarters Toyota welcomes you, run, break a leg, we'll see you at the end, and then they were gone. And then really the roundup was at the end, we said, can we get everybody over here that's, gonna be awarded an age group medal, which would be.
We had dual master ceremonies, you and Mike both.
Yeah, I have no hold on, I mean, I'm more, you are quite willing to, I'm pleased, you've done a marvelous job, as you've taken this from the beginning to the end. Yeah, I think it would be very fitting for you to see it across the finish line.
I'll be there. I'd love it with you.
And you can be there with us.
But, I don't know what, yeah, of course I would.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
So we were gonna speak, I don't think we need to do all the speaking, it's so early, we're gonna have a band, we'll speak after. We're gonna,
You need to introduce them, the mayor, you need to introduce them.
right, that's after the race, before the mayor talks, we'll introduce.
But before the race, to introduce with the race announcer, or, you need somebody to kind of coordinate everybody together, and that would be the job.
Okay.
I'm just saying that my experience when we did this previously, when Naeem was the chair, was he made some very brief remarks. Good morning, it's a beautiful day, so glad you could be here. Gary happened to be up there on the podium, and so he made some remarks. And then that was it. I think one of the elected officials said, hey, let's get, are we ready? 5, 4, 3. And that was it.
Warmed up, you don't wanna.
Yeah, this wasn't an event like, we're so happy you could be here, remember why we're running. It was just, we're out here to have fun, have fun.
But somebody's got to be out there and say,
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah.
So,
welcome everybody.
good point, Larry. So I think that right after the national anthem, because there's gonna be a little few minutes there between 7:45 and 8, it's not gonna take them that long, it's not gonna take 15 minutes for national anthem. So right after national anthem, we'll come up and we'll all come up and we'll do the thank you and welcome our guests and a quick, everybody thanks you, everybody thanks you, and then we'll go off. And then the 5K starts. And then the band will do the pep songs and the Hive dancers will be dancing as the runners are coming in, kind of at the finish line. And at 8:45, I have the mayor speaking. That's after. And potentially maybe 1 or 2 more elected officials in meeting, if they want to have a minute or, just a couple of words if they want. And we've got, I think, 2 other confirmed elected officials that are going to attend and or participate. And then I had 8:50, which will move a minute or 2 if we have a couple of elected officials speaking, then we'll speak as the Veterans Committee. So I'd like to call us all up, because everybody's been a big part of this, to just let everybody see you and understand what's going on. This isn't just magic and it's not just me. So we can all just have a moment that the crowd, this massive million people are going to be there, see everybody that is on this committee. And then we will have 9 a.m. awards. And then we have a 9:15 mascot meet and greet, which with hopefully the 3 mascots. And then Project X Band will play for about an hour or an hour and a half. And they'll have sponsors and there'll be food and some fun stuff, and probably people leaving before 12, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Done. Over.
I will say that when I did it a couple of years ago, I walked with one of my daughters, and it took us about 45, 40, somewhere in there. And we were there was still a good number of people behind us. at the 45-minute mark. There was still, another 150, 200 people.
The casualers.
Yeah, like,
Very casual
people with
walkers.
pushing their baby carriages and walking with their dogs and dressed up and whatever. So I don't know if the 45-minute, you're gonna still have people, coming across the finish line, and so they might be dividing people's attention rather than.
Well, we'll slow it down. If we see that there are still so many people out, we'll slow it down and let them have an
Yeah, I
opportunity to
think,
come
I
in.
think
3 miles is a pretty brisk pace at 15 minutes a mile.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
I mean, other than the runners, of course, but the people that are walking.
Right.
Be closer to, finishing up in an hour, I would say, at the 60-minute mark rather than
I think it was
45.
Ruben that said that 45.
He
is-
did,
is
yeah, it was
remote.
Ruben on our Zoom call.
What did he say?
I think,
It was 45
that 45-minute is when, I don't remember the phrasing, but it's like when most of them
5 minutes, 15-minute mile, at very brisk pace.
But a 15-minute mile is a brisk pace. I mean,
For the walkers.
for the walkers.
The runners, of course, will be finished around the 20, 30-minute mark, but everybody.
The runners will be finished
The majority of the people who are walking will still be.
less than a half an hour.
We'll
I
adjust
usually
the
run,
time.
I usually run like.
The band will be happy. They don't want to like 10. We'll flex it. We'll flex it.
I'll run my.
Okay. Yeah, we'll leave everything on. We'll just move the times. So yeah, I'm waiting. Really important are some really nice sponsor instructions from you guys to like give everybody, so everybody knows where to go, who to see, what to do, at what time. I think as a committee, if we could all be there by 7:15, I'd appreciate it. Just to make sure I'll be there by 7.
We're gonna copy there.
Yeah, since the Fuentos is coming, I don't know what time they're gonna be there. I always get my coffee truck.
Was that donated? Remember last time there was some confusion about donate or not?
That would be a question for,
Yeah, but that's a pretty straightforward answer.
If you could have them there early, when the early work was there, we appreciate it.
yeah, they should arrive at 7, then they're set up at 7:15, hopefully. And then I think we have plenty, how's the Eventbrite looking for volunteers?
All the volunteers, it's more through Isle, it
Okay,
hasn't really been an event, right? Because she has contacts from former events in the. The volunteers, it's pretty much taken care of and.
okay. Placement for the Lazmobile, that's my little Lazarola Chone car, it's a little smart car, we to put any spots on the,
I don't think so.
because I wasn't gonna bring cars, it's just too much chaos, but I wanna bring that, he's gonna ride up in it. It's like him getting out of his own self.
Well, I'll bring that back and it'll probably direct. Or it'll probably, guide us in how we're gonna handle military vehicles if they. If we confirm those, so, yeah.
It's a smart car, it's tiny, it's like a golf cart, just so you know. Thank you. I told him to be there by 7:30. That's about all I have.
You have done an absolutely amazing, remarkable job, Judy. Really, thank you so much. Yeah. Really, you have. I mean, it's really been incredible. And whether you decide to, like next year, like, oh, hey, listen, I already but you've set the bar, so now every run after this point will be judged against the one that you put together. So good job.
Thank you.
Well, that was the name that we cannot mention. Now it's the reindeer run. So,
Reindeer ride. No, it's my pleasure, you guys are in my heart. Happy to do it.
Okay. Going on to new business, Jonathan, the Veterans Monument. Jonathan, if you could please, you provided the wording that we voted on.
Yes.
If you could please, because when I read it, had it not been for the fact that you confirmed that we voted on it, and then I looked and I said, oh yeah, I guess that is what we said. If you could just read it out for everybody, I think, so we all are on the same sheet of music.
Right, so what the committee agreed upon was, in honor of the men and women of the armed forces, who have served our country. The town of Miami Lakes offers our heartfelt gratitude for your sacrifice. And we're dating it May 29, 2023 to coincide with Memorial Day.
Hmm.
Yeah,
it sounded good, but
without a request.
So not all 100% like that, like I thought we were gonna do more, like a full, like a mention, like, was it supposed to just be memorial, like past soldiers, or not all participating and active and retired and,
yeah, well, the point that Larry had brought up was that it was a battlefield cross.
so it is a memorial.
So it
It's
is a memorial.
Okay, sorry.
And so,
Right.
but also rather than kind of specifically highlighting those who have deceased by kind of broadly saying oh, for your sacrifice and it's on a battlefield cross, then it's the obvious conclusion is for those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. But I think it's broadly written so that it could, other people could take something away from it as well.
Yeah, I'll read it again. In honor of the men and women of the armed forces who have served our country, the town of Miami Lakes offers our heartfelt gratitude for your services.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
Excuse me. Yeah, no.
And we said armed services, armed
Armed
forces,
forces,
and we didn't say United States Armed Forces, we just said armed forces.
just armed forces.
You
And then,
guys want to have
How
that?
would it read if you
How's
put
it feel?
United States Armed Forces?
In honor of the men and women of the United States Armed Forces who have served our country.
When does that- when does that have to be in by?
I'm still waiting on this is gonna be the same person that's in the statue. And it's up to her foundry.
Do we have time to kick that around a little bit or? should we
Well,
use it?
I mean, it's up to you guys.
Keeping that around?
Yeah, we
I
can
think
figure
so.
it out since they got approved the council in July. We're gonna be July of next year, we'll still be kicking the can down the road.
The answer, yes, you could probably.
Well,
probably should.
The statue is, they have one in stock and it's already, the plaque has to be
Yeah, that's-
poured.
yeah.
And so we can buy the plaque, we can buy the cross, the statue, the sculpture in advance of the plaque, but in either case, we have to wait for the plaque and then it's affixed, but we do the affixing.
Yeah, it's all asynchronous.
So we can buy the battlefield cross, get it here on the base, and then we're just waiting on that plaque. And the plaque, they said, can take 6 to 8
The
weeks.
whole probably 6 to 8 is what you said. Yeah.
And we've been kind of bouncing this down the road with the verbiage, which, was approved by council in July. And here it is December, and we're still, talking.
So this is the approved version.
This is what we
everyone
voted on.
Okay. Yeah. I don't
But
know
the
what
question
add
is,
US, but
Does it sound okay like that, or it seems to be not saying United States Armed Forces, makes it the men and women of the armed
I
forces.
would say I'm not the greatest orator, so if you would like to read it.
But there is
You
a
speak
section
very
where it
well.
says for our country, so I think that it's fine.
Who have served our country. I mean, you want to.
No, it's okay, that's right, but just,
Read it very
That reads it.
You read one.
yeah, but can you just read both versions, read it with United States and without United States completely?
In honor of the men and women, in honor of the men and women of the United States Armed Forces who have served our country, the town of Miami Lakes offers our heartfelt gratitude for your sacrifices. And then there's without is in honor of the men and women of the armed forces who have served our country, the town of Miami Lakes offers our heartfelt gratitude for your sacrifices.
I like United States.
Yeah, I kind of like United States too.
Yeah, United States.
I don't,
Sounds good.
So I make a motion, we amend the verbiage on the statute to include the United States,
A second.
seconded by Judy. All in favor?
I
Are there any opposed?
forge it.
So go ahead, Jonathan. So is it,
Get the
yeah,
paper ready.
we really don't need to wait anymore. I think we can press send on this, but, and we're actually we're using fiscal year 22 money, so.
Right. I haven't talked with,
Where's it gonna be placed? As a second.
I didn't do that work.
We did as a, not addressing anybody specifically, but just as a reminder, the placement of the statue, was a few places considered. One is over by the trees that have been, it'll be placed in Veterans Park. But one will be in the place where the trees are currently, that are depicting several of the individuals who were honored in the Arbor Day ceremony. The town wanted to do something there, and Jeremy, the Parks Director, had a vision of building a path to the statue with some stone benches that people could actually sit there and contemplate. I was concerned that perhaps it might be too close to the playground, but he said that his vision was to continue with the planting of the trees as we've already started. So that you ended up with a wall of trees, and then that area would be placed central, but allowing some privacy.
And the framing of the whole thing is a good idea.
Hmm.
Would you like me to ask Jeremy to see if he can, from what you just said, like, put it in an email, essentially, and I can send it to everyone?
We talked, we had a lot of conversation on this strategic planning of the park.
We as
We
the,
thought about having a map of the park, you know,
Our
where,
committee,
oh,
where we would possibly put things,
Before you
not just
start,
rushing
right.
anything. And rather just adding on things haphazardly, have a long-term plan. This is Mike's idea. And I thought it was a good idea. It's not even fun.
just do it like a higher.
And you know, part of it, you know, and part of it was, you know, planning for those trees that we thought we didn't want to make
like,
too many trees. We don't want to make
future-proofing
it, this is not
Yeah.
a memorial park, it's a kid's playground. And we need to keep that in mind as we make this plan. And I think that Mike's original idea is the way we should go with it.
Which is,
Mike?
Well, we all discussed it. I think it was a group discussion. I think it was several ideas were put on the table, and we discussed the notion of, and as soon as I say it, everybody will remember. Just, you know, having it by, you know, the short term, 2-year, 4-year, 6-year, 8-year, where we're gonna be 10 years from now. And rather than hodge, as Larry suggested, hodging these things kind of wherever the mood suits us on a particular day. We tie it into a larger plan of what our vision for the park is gonna look like 20 years from now. And so we put in the pieces that we can. We don't need to have everything, but we can put in A, we can put in D, we can put in C. There was a splash pad that was mentioned. There was a cow that was mentioned, but rather than just kind of approving it, then just throwing it somewhere, just having a larger vision of what the park is going to look like. And so I think the Parks Director, Jeremy, was on board with that idea, but he, on the walkthrough, he had highlighted that area I mentioned as where he envisioned it going, and we had talked about a number of places that had been recommended by the committee. And he kind of kept coming back to that, and or he had mentioned the front of the park. And I thought that would be a horrible place for it.
yeah,
So I said, all the other things, I said, you know, if we have questions, let's take it back to the committee, let the committee decide. But on that one particular suggestion, I said, I think that's worthy of committee consideration. We definitely don't want it there.
Forgive me, is that park a Miami-Dade Park, or is it Miami Lakes Park? It's Miami-Dade Parks. It belongs, it's Miami Lakes. So they don't have like a architect, they don't have all that on staff, they don't have a landscape architect, they don't have any of that, they have to farm all that out, right? Because maybe we need that, as a committee, I think it's very difficult for us to go through this over and over, we have, and it makes sense, but maybe we need a professional that goes and does a study and sees where people go and how the traffic goes and who parks and what times, and do a little study. And then really propose a 10-year plan to allow for the people that do that for a living.
Yes.
And then bring us some A, B, and C, and then we can vote.
Mm.
Because I just don't think we're skilled, I just don't think we're suited for that.
And we had considered that as well. We had considered, somebody had suggested they had an architect that could, you know, lay things out and give us a blueprint. And we had talked about, we approved monies for an overhead photo so that we could put it on a big board. And the town came back and said, you know, while we appreciate your enthusiasm, you're a veterans committee that serves largely as an advisory board. It's not, you know, don't forget, it's not really your park. So any considerations for design or development of the park is going to be left to the Parks Department and the town of Miami Lakes staff. You're welcome to make suggestions, but the sense I had was that there could be some collaboration, but it was not a collaborative effort.
Even if we vote our heads off, it's not gonna matter anyway. And I would also recommend, like, we did do this and you guys did do that. You went and looked at other veterans parks and other municipalities. I know we like Doral setup. Somebody saw Doral. I saw one somewhere else. Oh, over by Pines Boulevard, just on the south side of Pines, there's a beautiful, I didn't get out of the car. They're like, you wanna get out? I'm like, no, not right now, but from the road, it's beautiful. So it's something worth looking at. I'll go take some pictures. And then we can just call this municipality and see who did it. And maybe that architect, I mean, we can have some sort of push to help get that master plan in place.
I think we can propose it to the council.
We'll go to council, and we'll go to council though. Council will wanna do it.
We can propose it to the council.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's easy.
All right, so,
May I say, because we do have reports to council, could you?
Yeah.
Maybe a confidential report, or
Exactly.
any suggestions you guys may have?
yeah,
I think it's a pretty good way, good reason to get right back up. with.
Because if the council approves it, Parks and Recreation has to do it.
Hmm. Okay. And then, so we're looking, the date that we have on this plaque is Memorial Day of this year, 2023,
the next one, yeah.
the next one. Going back to Bill's point, the Memorial Day, if it's on an off day, it's on
The Memorial
Day-
Memorial Day is always on.
Monday, but there was something issue about, you mentioned with the schools and the
Yeah.
participation of.
I suggested that we think about moving the majority of our activities to Saturday and Sunday.
For the closest Saturday?
Yeah, because to the closest Saturday.
Hmm.
And the reason that is because you look at the difference in the volunteers and the participation that we got on 9/11. When 9/11 happened to fall on Sunday,
Hmm.
Yeah.
okay, versus the previous year, when 9/11 was on Saturday, we spent all day Friday putting flags up.
Mm.
Okay, with very few volunteers.
Mm.
And if we're, it was like my comment in my Veterans Day presentation, where they, if we're trying to make this so that the community participates and we want the community there, then the best time to do that is on a weekend. Okay, instead of trying to do it in the middle of the week, even if the holiday is a federal holiday, the vast majority of people are still working. Okay, and the kids are still in school. And so you don't get the volunteers beforehand, you don't get the audience that you're looking for the activity. So I mean, if we can do, and Veterans Day Memorial Day traditionally is a Memorial Day weekend. Okay, and we ought to think very seriously about all of our events, whether it's Arbor Day or whether it's Memorial Day or whether it's 9/11, on what day we actually celebrate it versus the day that it falls on. I mean, this year we had a really good turnout for a parade. It wasn't on Veterans Day. Okay, why? Because it was on the weekend.
It wasn't even Veterans Day weekend yet.
No.
It was the one before.
Right, right. Okay, and so, I mean, I think as a committee, we probably ought to look at the ones that we do and say whether or not we want to do them on the actual day or whether we want to do them on the closest weekend.
So I motion that put it on, I guess, for the next meeting to calendar out all the events.
Oh, we could do that. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say just.
Because we've already done that, but we just went with the dates. We said these are the dates.
Really
for
did.
the
And it would be
next
very
meeting.
helpful because then
Yes.
we can knock down, dating,
Yeah, good idea.
sponsorship packages and all that.
Well said then. So great point, Bill. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And going to Judy's motion that we take the time, beginning of the year, January, we have actually a little bit of downtime, January to March, there's no events, then Arbor Day in April, then Memorial Day in May, and then, we're back at it. So Judy's motion is to go through the calendar and let's put these things where we want them to be for the next year. That was motion by Judy, seconded by Martha, all in favor? Are there any opposed? The motion passes. Good point, Bill, and thank you, Judy and Martha. Veterans Affair Officer, I know he's back in town, back in an office on Tuesdays, pardon me,
Yeah.
first and third Tuesday?
I know it's a Tuesday because the door's always open. I'll have to.
Does the Veterans Affairs Officer want to have a booth at the,
I'm sorry, Teams in Maryland's office.
I don't know, actually. He came back and, we don't have access upstairs, so just Jonathan can answer that question. Jonathan,
It's just every
what space is he using?
Let's see which suite it's in.
Originally, Councilwoman Ruano had offered her office as kind of a placeholder, intermediate, step, but I don't know, is he still in her office or does he have his own space?
I don't know that he has his own space. I'm gonna, imagine he's still in his office.
If we can invite him to come to our
Oh,
meeting.
yes, exactly, right.
Yeah, let's find out.
I wonder what this does.
When it's going to be.
Yeah, we don't even know that. Yeah.
Can we extend the invitation to him to our next meeting?
Do we do that through you then, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And can we, and Bill Perez, Young Marines, do they want a tent, do they want a booth? It's no money, it's.
I gotta ask them, you know, we got a lot, we have been going on this weekend, got a lot of stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah, I know, I gotta ask by aisle, yeah.
And American Legion too, I know that Gary's out, so maybe.
Maybe the
We
vice
got two vice
commander.
commanders here.
The two vice
American
commanders
Legion
too.
want a booth at our event?
That would be nice. Let me talk to the commander.
Okay.
But maybe you could do some recruiting things with some
Bill's
brochures.
also vice commander.
Yeah, I think we should talk to them.
You have one, you tell Isle or Jonathan, they need to get in touch with them and coordinate them. Okay. Lourdes is gonna get with you
Do you want, yeah,
one more.
okay, do you want me to reach out to see if the Spartans officer?
Yes, absolutely, give him a booth or
What
her or
what about
whatever.
you guys? You need a booth,
American Legion.
community outreach, have materials for a booth for that sort of thing? Where you can, you know.
We hadn't talked about it, but the county might want to bring, I mean, it's.
It's kind of 10, but a week and a half.
I can definitely.
We have the tables, you have like 14, right, 14 tents set up ready, I think we have extra. Yeah, we have extra. All they have to do is bring a tablecloth and a couple pieces of paper, maybe a rubber ball and a couple of heads.
I'll talk to the community. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are community outreach.
I'll be there. Yeah, right.
Coming over to the bar, yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that even before that, I was thinking about was we have the comfort dog now. That is becoming very popular.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if it's okay with the committee, I can ask for that.
Oh, please.
See if they can come out.
Do we need to vote on that? The comfort,
Um,
the dogs that, you know, the people that are stressed, PTSD,
They're,
hurt the dogs and a lot of.
They're therapy dogs,
feedback,
they're
yeah.
like coded.
They're right.
yeah, I don't think
think
that,
so.
I know there's like a thing about pets in the park, but I don't think that falls under that.
So they're.
Well, they're service.
They're
animals.
professionals.
Yeah, I'm just preemptively, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea to ask.
no, we have.
But-
we have all the
They
events.
have them at the light road, though.
Yeah, so they're.
They're a
Yeah, that's an excellent.
qualifying
They,
entity, those dogs.
it's amazing how people react to them, especially the kids. You know,
Yeah,
kids
that's
with
like-
special needs, when they come in with special needs. It's incredible.
Yep.
No, we've seen it. We saw it in the military had them in a lot of being in isolated locations. Wherever, it doesn't matter necessarily, wherever high stress areas. They brought those dogs in, the incidents of suicide, intent, ideation, all that stuff dropped precipitously. Really amazing, yeah.
The police participation at that bike radio was awesome. You guys made it. I mean, really, you were out there, you're well represented, Joe was out there. Are we,
Invitation.
are you going to be at this event in the same?
No, he's actually working with them. We got almost every available officer working the streets. There's not gonna be enough officers. So he's gonna ask the county. if they can provide some-
I'll take it up.
A priest or a
If,
minister.
I mean, you wanna see if I can get like.
Okay, I just don't wanna be, I don't wanna leave it out.
Like Mike Roden, like a big,
Whatever you
because I can ask and we can.
Yeah, the more the merrier. It's a big, you know,
We don't want to add too many things
Really appreciate anything.
between the
And then we could put
putting
them
people together and getting them.
in kind of like the white
Okay, so
room
that
where
out?
the parking lot
That.
is separated, so
oh,
actually don't go in there.
yeah, I don't think we're doing that.
No.
We can remember about section, or you can actually pour it on the grass.
No, he's gonna use stuff in there.
I'll reach out to the Veterans Affairs office.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
And offer the booth too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like
a
it's
booth
like
for
the
the
dog,
community
the
affairs
dog would be-
officer, MVP.
wouldn't be an issue, but like.
And then Officer
I
Andrew,
hope
Officer Amador is gonna talk to his, counterpart at the county, since he'll be working that day, or he'll be working the parade, but they have other people that, you know, they backfill one another, so he's gonna see if they'll be interested in coming with the service dogs.
So the best thing for Officer Amador to communicate to you or Judy what they can do, whatever, so we just have them set up on that Saturday morning.
I think, or just, yeah, we're in favor of them setting something up. An invitation has been extended. Whether or not they can come remains to be seen, but as far as where they will go, will come from town staff.
And I don't know by Tuesday. Well, tomorrow I'll send everything out and talk to them and see if they can confirm by Tuesday for, it is, I mean, it's incredible how many events the county has, because when I asked for things, like a bike parade was almost 2 months before. As soon as we had the date, they, luckily you asked, because, and there was even other things on that day. So the closer it is, the harder it is to get.
If they can do it great, we understand.
Additional police dogs and then release them so they can be chasing the runners.
Get them in quicker so we can get the band
John,
on.
I'm sorry, this next, so that's the Veterans Affairs Officer. You're gonna reach out to them and get the details where he's working, whether he can come, because, by the time he comes, it'll be another month from now, but really, just kind of, validate the hours or verify the hours that he's working, where he's there. And then this C says committee chair quarterly report. What is that? I didn't put that in there. I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know about that one either.
I'm guessing somebody included it. Is that due at some point?
I don't know. We have a meeting, we finally have a meeting scheduled for the quarter, for the quarterly chair meeting,
Oh, when is that?
December 13th.
Oh. Oh, that's what that comment was. I was asking,
Oh, was it?
when I was asking why we hadn't had it, because it was due back in
Yeah,
October.
it was just a scheduling issue. The most generic answer I can give, but
Yeah. December 13th at what
December
time?
13th at 6:30.
6:30. That's what that is. 6:30. And then, the number 9 we included was missing minutes, and Jonathan and Isle brought to my attention that there were a number of minutes that were missing. And I think we have 6 or 7 minutes that are missing going back to January of this year. And, but Jonathan, did the research because we recognized it would be difficult to identify exactly who owed the minutes and who was responsible for them on a given day, given it goes back a year. But apparently he went through the video and was able to identify who owes what. So can you please provide those dates so we can write them down?
So we have January 6th. I know that's going back a long one. And I believe, and this is, I was going off of agendas as well as the recording. It had the secretary marked as Mr. Pius. January, were you the secretary back then?
I don't think so. I think that was after the election.
Okay.
Yeah, we can check. But I know we put the election off for as much as we could, and then we were obligated to hold our election. So if that election was held on January 6th, then Ed would have been the outgoing, and then Mario would be the incoming, so he would have been, oh no, because we did the minutes at the end of the meeting, or the election at the end of the meeting. That's right. So I don't know if you have it, Ed, if you don't.
If I have it,
Yeah.
I have it scanned.
I can give you the recording. I don't want you to put the recording.
Yeah, if you could give us a copy of the agendas, and then that would make it easier, so when you coordinate with the film, make notes on it, there would be minutes.
May 24th.
Okay, May 24th, and that was a regular meeting or a subcommittee?
That was, and I know I sent it.
It would have to have been subcommittee because Memorial Day was right after that, and I don't know if we would have waited to the 24th.
It was a special call.
Oh.
So,
And what was a special call for?
from the, I remember from the agenda, it was stuff to do with Memorial Day.
What's the difference with a special call and a subcommittee meeting?
That's when we hurry, we have to all come for a vote real quick,
Yeah, it's like one
Yeah,
item.
special
that
call,
we're
you need
voting on.
quorum.
Like,
like we did on Tuesday,
Tuesday,
that was special call.
you need quorum for special.
You need
call.
quorum for special call.
But subcommittee, you don't.
No, that's just, you're advising, you're bringing stuff back to the.
You're not voting on subcommittee.
Well, you can vote in a subcommittee meeting, but it doesn't,
bind the committee.
right, because imagine a subcommittee meeting could be only 2 people. But if there's 2 people, it's also sunshine, so it's You know, you can bring stuff back to the committee through a vote. But you can't vote to spend $100 in a subcommittee, you have to bring that back. You can vote to bring it back. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a lot of,
And who was responsible for that special call minutes?
the 24th, there was no assigned, because Mr. Chavez wasn't there, so. But I couldn't hear in the recording, hey, I'm gonna do the minutes or. I guess that's-
And it was a special call meeting, yeah.
That was a special call meeting.
Okay. And then what were the other ones?
The next one was. September 12th. That would have been the Veterans Parade Subcommittee meeting.
I think that one might have been me.
That one was you.
I missed that one.
That's parade, and that was a subcommittee.
October 19th, don't worry about it because Mr. Chavez sent that to me 10 minutes ago, so
Oh, okay.
very nice of him. November 17th, that was a special call. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I have those minutes. I'll
Oh,
send
you-
it to
okay.
tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. And
That was
then-
the first of the two special calls for this. Okay.
Yeah.
So what day was 11/7, right?
17th.
15, yeah, yeah.
And then our meeting from. That Monday,
And that was Mario.
this last meeting,
Tuesday,
Okay.
Mario took those.
that was Mario, so I'm waiting on those.
And that was November 29th.
Yeah, so that's, I guess the big outliers are the January one. And the May.
And so we have nobody for the May 24th. Nobody's picked that one up, right? And it was a
Give me the
special
recording
call.
for the January 6th one?
I'll be short. Let me see.
Is it late or is it fine? Awesome.
I know one of
Next
them.
vote then.
I saw we had both.
Was
That was the second, that was the second. Parade,
Oh, okay,
meeting.
all right. And this was subcommittee, and this was Ron, and that was Mario. Right. So we just need to identify who will do the minutes for the May 24th special call. Okay. I don't think we need to do that right now. We'll get in touch with Mario and see, you know, you said he was absent that day, right, Mario?
I believe so. I also don't know the times when people were on committees, just because I came in July, so I don't know if he was. I'm assuming he was. So if he wasn't in the video, so I'm assuming.
So the notes I have on a special call meeting were. Yep. It was a special call to discuss the budget, to select the winners of the poetry essay contest.
Oh, okay.
Right.
The budget and the
yes.
poetry.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yep, that's Victoria.
Well, that
That's
seemed like a
Victoria.
long time ago.
A year ago.
I know, crazy.
All right,
All right. Oh, so you got, well, you can't do it.
No, that's
You're
a
otherwise-
note.
yeah,
that's a
right.
note. That's
But
not
that was
even
the
me.
poetry special call. All right. Very good. Anything else?
Read the poem.
Yeah,
Yes.
we tried. And it
Went
was-
round and round.
was the issue with the sound system. So the four kids, you couldn't have, nobody
It
was
was really
hearing.
quite good.
Yeah, that was cute. And that was a nice little touch, I thought. Committee is so good. All right, so that's it then. The announcements. Do we have anything else? Does anybody have anything to tie the meeting up? It's 7:30.
Is there any more meeting before the Friday? No.
Probably not, from now on, if we have to communicate with someone to go through Iowa and Jonathan
well,
and the
it
deputy.
will-
Civic-
The voting issue we can communicate, correct?
Yes, that's what I've been told. by
Right.
several.
As long as it's not a voting issue.
No voting.
As long as it's not something that's gonna have to come to a vote.
Yeah.
Which is why we were able to meet and wash the banners and do that stuff.
Right, that's okay stuff.
You know, you guys were in that photo that was in the Miami Laker.
I don't think I made the picture, you guys.
No, no.
You win.
No, but you were up, both of you were on either end, and I asked her
We got
because
cropped.
you got
We
cropped.
got bumped
She
out.
said it was too wide.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I was specifically, looking at that photo, because you guys were in it.
We got cropped out.
Yeah, they cropped you out.
You don't work tomorrow.
And I said, really?
And they carry us on their sides.
So we have to make up for that during the reindeer run, get them, you know, the women of the veterans, Miami Lakes Veterans Committee.
The non-veteran-
Yeah, because that was not intentional.
Is
That
there a
was,
motion to
that was,
adjourn?
that was editorial. No, I just wanted to say, this is the last time that we're gonna meet.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then we have the run and that's it.
So whether if we talk, we're gonna be, there's gonna be.
So it really has been a pleasure this year and you guys have done amazing work. We had the Memorial Day event, which was a new event.
It was well attended.
Yes.
Yeah, the 9/11 event was, I thought was as successful as it's been since its inception. And we have 3,000 plus flags now that are safely stored in the Mary Collins.
No, no washing. no ironing.
Pardon me? And then, yep, oh yeah, right, we have the park dedication coming up in May, so. It's been a good year. I hope, the rest of the year finishes well for you and your families and, it's been a pleasure. So with that, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's 7:39.
Living the best, yeah.
I know, that's amazing.